Next, I'd like to show you one I think of the most powerful features of AssessTrack, and it is the ability to create multimedia assessments, that is exams, quizzes, assignments, labs, even tutorials. To do this, we would go first from the course webpage, homepage, to the assessments menu. Here we would see all the previous, current, private, and even question banks that we've created in the past. So this is a new class. We don't have any of that currently. But let's create a new assessment. And as we would like in many cases, we might want to pull some questions or maybe even entire assessments from previous work we've done and include that in current work. So let's look here at the list of course offerings, and these of course are course offerings of which I as a faculty member have had some administrative rights to. And let's look at the computer science course from last spring, and I can take any one of the assessments within that course, and I'll just take this one, the array tutorial, and I'll import it. So the QuizBuilder, as we called it, shows us the particular assessment, and this has only one question, and there's only one point. And as you notice, we have embedded graphics and so forth here, and we'll just simply choose that for our new assessment and then close it. And here you see the components that are being built for that particular assessment. Next, let's take an item from perhaps the fall 2010 class, and let's take a look at pulling some items out of exam 1. So we import it, and we have a number of items for which we can choose. Let's choose this group of multiple choice answers in question. Let's take one that might be a fill in the blank. Okay, well, let's just take that one from here for now. Let's then go to, let's go to the same spring semester. Let's look at exam 1 from that semester. Import it. Let's take this question and just click it, and it automatically includes it in our current assessment. Here's a matching question that I'm quite fond of. And then at the end, let's go ahead and take the entire programming problem here. Now this question, this assessment component has embedded graphics, as you can see. We'll just take that one. And of course, as before, we'll just close it once we're finished with it. So here's what we've done so far. It's pretty hard to read, but you can imagine it is what was built from the previous assessments. Let's add an item ourselves, a brand new one. And as you notice, it pulled from a drag and drop screen question 1 down on top of the previous question 1, and it automatically renumbered all the questions below it. Let's make this a multiple choice question. Let's make some choices here for the multiple choice: hard drive, monitor, and let's say keyboard. And the caption or the question will be, what about which of these devices can be used for input? Question mark. And let's add one more choice up here. Let's say all the above. So let's give that particular question a weight of 5 in our exam, and we want to give the QuizBuilder the correct answer to allow it to automatically grade this assessment for us. So we'll just paste in the right answer here, give it a point value of 5, and let's say perhaps if the student were to answer keyboard, which is only partially correct, we might want to give that particular answer a 1. If they answered Didn't get this right, did I? We wanted to make monitor one point, and this should be keyboard. We want to make keyboard also 1 point. All right. Oops. Keyboard also 1 point. So we could continue building our assessment here, putting in multiple choice, short, long answer questions. And a code answer is one where the student would be asked to place a compilable C++ program that the system would automatically execute and compile during the grading session for my teaching assistants, so that they could easily grade all of the exams without individually having to compile each one of the student submissions. I'll show you that perhaps a little later. So now that we have our components of our assessment built, we want to give it a name. Let's call it test exam. We can change the due date, the time of day, and this is when the system would close the exam while it was being taken, and the creation date is automatically placed here. I won't modify that for now. Under section, we can indicate a particular section of the class. These sections are indicated for each student in the student profile. This is not extra credit. We will not allow multiple submissions because this is an exam. We'll choose the type, which is an exam type. And here we have an opportunity to provide the assessment controller with a prerequisite assessment, so that students who would have to have passed perhaps a prerequisite quiz or having completed the assignment in order to be able to take this exam. And we're not going to have that situation here. And last but not least, we have two elements of visible and is open. Visible means that it can be seen. In other words, this assessment, this announcement of just its name and title and its due date could be seen, not its content, by students at any point. And faculty have used this to sort of put together an outline of what assessments, what kinds of components in their class, sort of as an advanced syllabus. But students cannot get into the content, but just see it visibly. But if we want our students to see this particular exam, and when we're ready for them to take this exam, we would then click open. And I actually click open many times from my cell phone as I am entering the room, so that students can immediately get involved in taking the exam. So after having put those components together, we could simply just say save,